Good morning, America. Severe weather threat. More than 100 million Americans on alert for tornadoes, huge hail, and damaging winds sweeping across the central U.S. Samara tracking the timing, plus the wildfires in the Carolinas. Firefighters working to make headway. The forecast that could help.
Fiery crash. A small plane slammed into a house outside of Minneapolis, erupting into flames.
It was insane how bad that burning was.
All on board killed. The investigation underway this morning.
Race against time, the search to find survivors of that massive Southeast Asia earthquake. New pictures showing the extent of the damage and another strong aftershock this morning.
Tariff anxiety, the question surrounding President Trump's expected slate of sweeping tariffs and what it could mean for your wallet.
Stranded at sea, we hear from the 2 teen paddleboarders who spent 16 hours off the coast of Florida, grateful for the fishermen who rescued them.
Thank you so much for everything you guys did.
What went through their minds as they waited for help?
And March Madness, a thrilling come-from-behind victory. And the Cinderella story unfolding on the women's side. A proud papa in the stands. All the action on the court as we say,
Good morning, America! Feel the vibration. Come on, come on.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
That's a good Sunday morning start. Good morning, America. Yeah, right? We're with it. I just want to keep letting that play. It feels really good. Good vibrations. Let's take it as we start the week. We've got a very busy morning ahead as the trade war escalates this week. The latest on the president's tariff plans just ahead.
Plus, it's been a weekend of the so-called Tesla takedown protests around the world. Now on day 2, calling for a Tesla boycott. Demonstrators denouncing those wide-ranging government job cuts.
But we begin here with the dangerous spring storms and the new threat of tornadoes, damaging wind, and large hail from Texas to New York. Let's get right to Samara Theodore tracking the latest. Samara, good morning.
Good morning. Yesterday, guys, states like Texas and Oklahoma literally rocked by these storms. Take a look. We had tennis ball size hail. Dublin, Texas. Look what this hail did to the back of this car, completely blowing out the back window. Oklahoma was privy to a lightning show in the sky. More of this today, but now we're adding that threat for tornadoes. So these violent storms will continue to traverse across the Midwest. Late tonight, we could be in for nocturnal tornadoes from Shreveport to Memphis, right on into Nashville and Louisville. So make sure you have those alerts on your phone in case you're sleeping. Where does this line go next? It hits the I-95 corridor. So we could see some tornadoes actually developing along the southern tier of the I-95 corridor on Monday. Right during rush hour, we're seeing some of those storms hit places like D.C. and Philly. What I want to say is we are going to see some rain hitting the Carolinas tonight and tomorrow, which is what they need because of these wildfires. Janae?
All right, Samara. And from there, we're going to go to those wildfires in the east. The Table Rock fire has now crossed into North Carolina, but officials say conditions are improving. ABC's Faith Abube is in Pickens, South Carolina with the very latest. Faith, good morning. We know they are hoping for some of that rain.
Yeah, good morning to you, Janae. A new group of firefighters leaving this command center right now to head out to the fire line. The Table Rock fire is now the highest priority fire in the entire country, especially now that the Black Cove fire on the North Carolina side is 35% under control. Crews are working 12-hour days here, trying to get the upper hand, and their efforts are actually paying off just as the weather is also about to bring in some relief. The teams have dropped more than 800,000 gallons of water to calm the flames. It's the largest airdrop in South Carolina history. More resources are on the way from other states. The fire is now burning just more than 11,000 acres. But for the first time this morning, we're learning that the fire here in South Carolina is 9% contained. We know nearly 1,400 businesses and homes had to be evacuated because of the flames this morning. Some of those people are being told they can't come back if they want to. As for those flames, the rain will certainly help the situation here, but it is just too soon for anyone to let their guard down. Gio.
And let's hope they get that much needed rain very, very soon. Faith, thank you for your reporting. We're going to turn now to the search for answers after a small plane slammed into a house in suburban Minneapolis. ABC's Phil Lipoff is here with the latest overnight. Good morning, Phil.
Gio, good morning to you. This happened in an instant. It was caught on camera. The results are terrifying and deadly. And this morning, the NTSB and FAA continue to search for answers. Horrifying video this morning from a doorbell camera in the town of Brooklyn Park, just north of Minneapolis.
Low altitude alert, check your altitude immediately.
A small plane falling from the sky, exploding into a fireball as it crashes into a home.
It was insane how bad that burning was.
Firefighters racing to the scene, the house consumed by flames. Amazingly, the fire chief says no one who lives here was hurt, but confirming everyone on the plane was killed. The FAA says the single-engine plane took off from Des Moines International in Iowa, headed to Anoka County Blaine Airport in Minneapolis, before crashing about 7 miles short of the airport. This is the latest small or mid-sized plane crash in the U.S. so far this year. In Philadelphia, 7 people killed in January after a medical transport jet crashed moments after takeoff. Earlier this month in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a plane crashing near the airport, injuring 5 people on board. Now, even with all those recent crashes, frightening as they are, experts still say statistically, air travel is the safest form of transportation here in the U.S. by far. Whit?
Yeah, alarming video, though. Thank you, Philip Off. We appreciate it. We do turn overseas now to the catastrophic earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand. The death toll approaching 2,000, with rescue crews still searching for survivors. ABC's Britt Clennett is in Bangkok with the latest. And Britt, we can see that devastation behind you. Good morning.
Good morning. Workers here are using heavy machinery now to lift debris from that big mound of rubble you can see behind me where the 34-story building collapsed. But with the critical window to find survivors is closing, with more bodies recovered, taking the death toll from this incident to 11.
This morning, rescue and recovery efforts tirelessly underway in Myanmar and Thailand in the wake of that devastating earthquake that shook the region, killing more than 1,600 people and injuring thousands more. In war-torn Myanmar, volunteers hacking away at the wreckage using jackhammers and shovels in a desperate attempt to recover any possible survivors. These striking satellite images showing the extent of the damage from the quake, bridges torn apart and buildings reduced to rubble. Power outages and buckled roads hampering recovery efforts. Here in the Thai capital of Bangkok, video capturing this apartment bridge breaking apart from the force of the quake. This skyscraper collapsing the day of the quake, crews working into the night searching for survivors. Chanasorn Srinin told me his sister, one of the electrical engineers on the site, is among the missing.
So these are all the missed calls?
His efforts to get in contact with her unsuccessful. And early this morning, more relatives being told the bodies of their loved ones had been recovered from the rubble. The 7.7 magnitude earthquake, one of the worst to hit Southeast Asia in the past 100 years. Amid Myanmar's ongoing civil war, the country's resistance movement announcing a partial ceasefire to help facilitate relief efforts. A UN official saying the military junta there is continuing to bomb parts of the country.
Now, we know U.S. military personnel, they have been here speaking with Thai officials, but despite President Trump indicating that U.S. help will reach Myanmar, it's not actually clear when American assistance will arrive there. That's as aftershocks are really complicating rescue efforts in the areas devastated by the quake. Janae?
We know there was an aftershock not too long ago, Britt. Thank you for that update. Back here at home now to the Trump administration tariffs set to go into effect this week and what they could mean for prices here at home. ABC's Jay O'Brien is in Washington with the very latest. Good morning to you, Jay. A lot of folks watching this.
Yeah, Janae, good morning. Those tariffs plan to snap into place this week, and overnight, President Trump not backing down.
Overnight, President Trump standing firm on his sweeping tariffs planned to begin in just days, including on cars and auto parts made outside the U.S., repeatedly saying he couldn't care less if automakers raise prices as a result, arguing people are going to start buying American-made cars. It all begins April 2nd, labeled by the president as Liberation Day, when he's expected to announce a laundry list of reciprocal tariffs targeting countries the White House says have an imbalanced trade relationship with the U.S. Those tariffs now expected in addition to others planned to snap in place at 12:01 a.m. on April 3rd, including long-threatened 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, the nation's 2 largest trading partners, and those additional 25% automotive tariffs. The president arguing the moves will boost prosperity and grow American manufacturing. But most economists warning U.S. consumers should brace for higher prices on everything from electronics to furniture to fresh fruits and vegetables. The stock market plunging Friday amid the concerns.
We should all prepare for higher tariffs and what it means for higher prices for the things that we buy, for lower stock prices, and for fewer jobs, because the rest of the world is going to respond.
The president telling ABC's Rachel Scott Americans shouldn't worry.
Mr. President, should Americans buy cars now if they want to avoid higher prices?
No, I don't think so. I think you're going to have a country that's going to boom.
Trump and Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney speaking last week, but not reaching a deal. But that decades-long partnership now rocky as a possible trade war looms.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over.
And President Trump huddling with his Treasury and Commerce secretaries at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. The president has begun downplaying the possible impact of these reciprocal tariffs, saying that they may be more lenient than some expected. Gio.
Jay, thank you. There's a lot to discuss on this, so let's bring in ABC's chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, now, the host of This Week Later this morning. Martha, good morning. Thank you for being here. Jay was just talking about this new round of tariffs. What's at stake here, Martha?
Well, first of all, you've got everybody jittery across the country. Uncertainty, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. But as Jay mentioned, the president has dubbed Wednesday Liberation Day. He's been building up to this day for weeks now. But it's still really not clear just how widespread these tariffs will be, with the president saying he's still open to negotiating with countries on this, but with that one caveat, quote, only if people are willing to give up something of great value, Gio. So we are going to keep our eyes on that. We're talking to Diane Swank on the show this morning, who could lay it all out and tell us the bottom line, Gio.
A lot of questions on that. Also, a lot of questions about that now infamous Signal chat. Martha, could we see more fallout from that?
Well, I think that all eyes are on the Hill right now. It doesn't appear that anyone is going to be kicked out of the administration. Mike Waltz for inadvertently including that reporter on the Signal chat chain, or Pete Hegseth, who the president keeps saying is just fine, even though he did reveal those very sensitive attack plans on that discussion group. But the Hill, especially Democrats, of course, really want some accountability here and want some sort of investigation. Gio?
And we will see what happens. All right, Martha Raddatz, as always, thank you so much. And tune in to This Week Later this morning. Martha has more on the fallout from the group chat leak engulfing the president's national security team. She's going to speak with Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chair Mark Warner and former House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Turner. Whit?
Gio, now to the protests against billionaire Tesla founder Elon Musk over his role in those massive federal job cuts. More demonstrations expected today at Tesla facilities across the country. ABC's Morgan Norwood is here with more. Morgan, good morning.
Good morning to you, Whit. And while most of yesterday's demonstrations were peaceful, overnight police in Idaho say one protest turned violent during a clash with counter-protesters when a man was hit by a car. And this morning, we know one person is in custody, that incident under investigation. And all of this as more demonstrators head back to the picket lines today.
This morning, the pressure is mounting as activists in cities across the world prepare to take to the picket lines for day 2 of the so-called Tesla takedown, calling for a boycott of Tesla and an end to CEO Elon Musk's role in those sweeping federal layoffs.
Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
From New York to London, demonstrators say they're just getting started.
I've been coming here every weekend and will continue to come every weekend until something happens.
The movement saw demonstrations at more than 200 Tesla dealerships across the globe Saturday, with activists claiming that Musk's EV fortune helped him become the gatekeeper of DOGE, the controversial Department of Government Efficiency, tasked by President Trump with making drastic cuts to critical public sector jobs.
He's cutting these jobs, he's cutting these programs that people need.
In New York, demonstrators filling the streets outside of a Tesla dealership, smashing toy Teslas and carrying a symbolic DOGE graveyard with mock tombstones for agencies on the chopping block.
Dozens of demonstrators surrounding this Tesla dealership here in New York City. NYPD also on hand to ensure these demonstrations don't get out of control.
The protest comes as the FBI launches a task force to investigate coordinated attacks of property damage targeted at Tesla. Vandalism reports ramping up in recent weeks. Musk warning the Trump administration will step in.
And with that said, President Trump is warning that Tesla vandals could face up to 20 years behind bars, possibly in El Salvador. Janae?
All right, Morgan, thank you for that. Now to Utah, becoming the first state to ban fluoride from public drinking water. Similar laws are being considered in states like Florida, Ohio, and South Carolina. But fluoride has been added to water systems around the country since the 1940s to help prevent tooth decay, even as concerns over the addition of the mineral have persisted. So joining us now to talk about it is toxicologist Dr. Stephanie Widmer. Dr. Widmer, thanks for being here. The Utah legislation doesn't mention those concerns, but they do center on the cognitive impacts for kids exposed to fluoride. What have studies shown regarding potential health links between fluoride and kids and everyone?
So we know that fluoride is good for our teeth. The CDC has conducted high-quality research that tells us fluoride is really great for our dental health, dental hygiene. It strengthens enamel, it remineralizes our teeth, prevents decay, it combats cavities, it fights bacterial growth. We know fluoride is good for our teeth. Now, there was a study that was performed, it was released in January, and this study raised some concerns about the possibility of very high fluoride levels and a link to lower IQ levels. I want to be clear that this study did not in any way prove that high levels of fluoride cause lower IQ levels. In fact, it was considered inconclusive in that sense. The study was conducted outside of the United States. It was performed in areas where there are very, very high levels of fluoride in the drinking water.
Much higher than in drinking water.
Much higher than anything that we encounter here in the United States in our drinking water. So even when considering these very high levels of fluoride, more research, more data is needed in order to determine whether even those very high levels of fluoride have a direct impact on IQ levels.
Okay, and to that point, the American Dental Association says that cavities are the most chronic childhood disease. You've got 3 kids at home. I've got 3 kids at home. We are constantly fighting against cavities. What do parents need to know?
The addition of fluoride to drinking water has long been considered one of the greatest public health achievements of the past century. And banning the addition of fluoride to drinking water may impact individuals from low-income families who may not have access to high-quality dental care. And I just want to be clear that to date, there has been no research, no study that has concretely shown that fluoride, especially at the very low levels of fluoride we see here in the United States, have any direct impact on IQ levels or cognitive development.
So even though those concerns are out there, they have not been proven in any means.
Correct.
Okay. Dr. Widmer, thank you so much for being here with us.
All right, we turn to March Madness now as the men's Elite 8 gets going and the women, they battle it out in the Sweet 16. ABC's Ike Joshi, he's been tracking it all. Sacrificing himself at those late nights to get us all caught up, right?
It's a tough assignment, but you know what? I'm the man to do it for you guys.
Yes,
I got
you.
And you know what? I got to tell you, this tournament, it's been a chalk kind of tournament this time around. The men's 1 seeds are doing their thing, both advancing to the Final Four, but it was #1 Florida who was on the brink of elimination until a vintage performance from Walter Clayton Jr. helped the Gators keep on dancing. Overnight, a thrilling fight to the Final Four.
Intercepted! The Gators are going to the Final Four!
The Florida Gators with an epic comeback, rallying with less than 4 minutes left in the game. Thomas Haug hitting back-to-back three-point shots before passing the baton to Walter Clayton Jr., hitting 2 more three-pointers of his own.
The Gators have recaptured the lead!
Beating Texas Tech 84-79, heading to their first Final Four since 2014. #1 Duke battling 2-seed Alabama.
Cooper flag opens up the scoring with a triple.
Duke beating Alabama 85-65. They now head to the Final Four. On the women's side, a Cinderella story unfolding. #2 TCU taking down 3-seed Notre Dame 71-62.
Got it! And chef's kiss!
TCU's Haley Van Lith setting the school's single-season scoring record. Her dad proudly celebrating in the stands.
Look at Corey, that's Dad! He's loving it!
And top-seeded USC sneaking out a tight 67-61 win over #5 Kansas State.
USC is still alive! Headed back to the Elite 8!
Their first game without superstar Juju Watkins, who tore her ACL earlier this week. The win sets up a rematch with UConn.
Beckers gets it back, will pop, and hit!
UConn star Paige Beckers putting up a career high of 40 points in their game last night, dominating Oklahoma 82-59. The tournament action continues all day today right here on ABC. The women will continue their games, starting with number 2 Duke taking on number 1 seed South Carolina. And guys, that's followed by UCLA taking on LSU.
Go ahead, pronounce it.
Tournament.
Midwest says tournament, but
Jersey tournament.
Our regional language battles.
Perfect Elite 8 bracket, perfect Sweet 16 bracket.
Hanging in there, yeah. Women's bracket's looking good.
Let's go.
2 words, number 1.
Thank you. All right, coming up here on Good Morning America, 2 16-year-olds reunited with the Good Samaritans who saved their lives, rescuing them after nearly 16 hours lost at sea.
Plus, a warning this morning from the U.S. Embassy in Syria urging all Americans to leave the country over an increased possibility of attacks.
And the grandma stand, why total strangers are lining up for a chance to get some advice from grandma. We'll be right back. More GMA after this.
Absolutely fabulous. Unbelievable.
Goldschmidt lofts it to left center field and deep. Bellinger lofts one deep to right center. That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Back.
We got some fans in the house. Happy to see that. Welcome back to GMA on this Sunday morning. The New York Yankees were unstoppable in their opening home game against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Yanks hitting 3 straight home runs off the first 3 pitches, and that was just the beginning. New York crushed it with a team record 9 homers, 3 of them from Aaron Judge. In the end, the Yankees beat the Brewers 20-9. You like that, Janae, on Sports Zone.
That's Sports Janae. Sports Janae, I'm telling you, she's ready for ESPN.
That looked like some fun stuff. Go Yankees.
Let's take a look at some of the other big stories we're following here on this Sunday morning. Happening right now, the U.S. Embassy in Syria issuing a warning to Americans, urging them to leave the country. The embassy citing an increased possibility of attacks during the Muslim holiday of Eid, which begins tonight and marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan. Possible targets include embassies and public institutions in Damascus.
Also right now, the White House Correspondents Association announcing that its annual dinner will not feature comedian Amber Ruffin, almost 2 months after it announced her as the MC. And in a big break with tradition, this year's dinner won't have any comedic performances at all. The association's board saying it is planning a re-envisioning of its dinner, which is scheduled for next month.
And a lucky Powerball player in California is waking up a multi-millionaire this morning. Lottery officials say one ticket worth $527 million was sold at a 7-Eleven in Anaheim. So wake up, check your tickets. The odds of winning that grand prize, 1 in 292,201,338.
I just blacked out when you said that.
I know, there were just so many numbers.
Don't tell
Massive
me the odds.
number, but
somebody won, though.
And
Yeah.
somebody in Anaheim,
Yeah.
maybe someone from Disneyland.
Yeah, maybe. Pretty cool. All right, we do start this half hour, though, with new details on those 2 teenage girls paddleboarding off the Florida coast who ended up stranded at sea for 16 hours. They're now reuniting with the fishermen who found them. And ABC's Morgan Norwood is here. Morgan, they really kept their cool during this whole ordeal. Good morning.
I mean, Whit, it is just incredible. Let me paint this picture for you. 16 hours, frigid waters, and clinging to an inflatable paddleboard in the dark of night just to stay afloat. 16-year-olds Avery Bryan and Eva Aponte helplessly watched as helicopters flew over. But little did they know, help was on the way. And this morning, the emotional reunion with the 2 fishermen who pulled them to safety.
This morning, a joyful reunion. 16-year-olds Avery Bryan and Eva Aponte thanking the men who rescued them after they were stranded at sea off the coast of Cedar Key, Florida.
Thank you so much for everything you guys did and everything you guys prayed for to keep us safe.
Images showing the teens in the middle of the water holding onto the same paddleboard, stuck for nearly 16 hours. 14 miles from where they started. The fishermen throwing them over their shoulder and taking them to safety. The girls telling ABC affiliate WCJB at one point they didn't know if they would make it.
I remember not being able to paddle anymore and looking at her going, we might die, but think positive thoughts.
The pair left the Cedar Key fishing pier just north of Tampa to go paddleboarding the morning of March 17th. When they didn't return, loved ones frantically calling 911. Multiple agencies launching an all-out search through the night. The girls saying they tried to remain calm while stuck in the frigid waters.
It was just really cold at that point and the wind started to pick up.
A group of fishermen spotting the teens the next morning, about 14 miles from the pier they were trying to get back to.
As we were moving along, Alex saw something on shore and said, "Hey, that looks like a raft." And as we pointed the boat towards the girls, they stood up and started waving at us, and then clearly we waved back.
The duo saying they noticed one of the rescue helicopters earlier in the night and tried to signal it.
When they had already gone over us at least 4 times, and they missed us by like 2 feet with the spotlight.
But all hope wasn't lost. The fishermen showing up hours later and taking them to a nearby boat ramp where they were rushed by ambulance to the hospital.
We've had a miracle answered, a lot of prayers answered for Avery and Eva, and we're here to celebrate that today.
Their loved ones emotional at their safe return.
I can't even tell you. It was wonderful. They're tighter than ever, and I know they'll have a lifelong friendship and commitment to one another.
And the 2 girls were hypothermic. They suffered cuts and bruises. As you saw, they're now out of the hospital and just incredibly happy to be home and with loved ones. But again, what a survival story. So glad they're okay.
I mean, that is an unbelievable story.
14 miles from where they began.
Incredible. Morgan, thank you for that.
We now turn to a topic on the minds of many parents, kids and online bullying. The new hit show Adolescence on Netflix about a 13-year-old boy accused of murdering a classmate is raising important questions about family dynamics, teen loneliness, and online misogyny. Let's take a look at a clip.
You're not getting it.
What am I not getting?
Dad, you're not reading what they're doing. It's a call to action by the manosphere. 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men. You must trick them because you'll never get them in a normal way.
We've done nothing wrong, have we?
So we are joined now. That was a heavy scene just to see that. We're joined now by parenting expert Erica Suter. Erica, we love when you're here with us. Let's jump into this. Why do you think that this show has struck such a chord?
Because it feels so real. It's not just a story about some monstrous, notoriously monstrous kid who does something terrible. You have a kid who seems like comes from a normal family, goes to a normal school, has a normal relationship with social media until suddenly it's not. And parents can see themselves and their kids in this, and it's chilling.
And one thing that's interesting here is experts have been drawing attention to this idea of an epidemic among young men when it comes to loneliness. And we hear about the so-called manosphere. Talk to us about exactly what that is and why it's been a draw for young men.
Well, the manosphere, they're blogs, videos, and forums on the internet, and they provide answers to young men and boys who feel lonely, isolated, rejected, and they finally feel like, finally, someone sees me. But here's the problem with that connection. It often turns into misogyny, blame, and hate. They're being told, it's not you, it's them, and that's very dangerous.
You know, you and I were just talking about the parents, because the parents in this show, everything appears normal. They don't really see this coming, and they're struggling so much in trying to understand this. So what should parents be looking at when they're looking at their teens right now at home?
Well, if your teen has social withdrawal, persistent sadness, doesn't want to do any of the activities they used to do, those are all signs that something big is going on. But here's the thing. You know, the show showed us that it's not always so obvious, right? So you have to look at the emotional undercurrent. If you're a parent and you feel like something's off, something probably is. Don't ignore that instinct.
So that gets to a whole other thing when you're talking about the emotional undercurrent and really connecting with kids who may not have the words or the ways to express what they're feeling. What should parents do? How do you get to that emotional undercurrent?
Right, well, you can start small. Have conversations while you're having dinner or on car rides or putting the dishes in the dishwasher. You know, just find out what they think about things, what their friends think about things. Don't make it this barrage of questions, right? And then you also want to normalize struggle. So many kids feel like it's not normal for me to have a hard time. That is normal. And you don't want to overact when they share something major. You know, listen, validate their feelings, and then ask if they need help working things through. And lastly, and I've said this a million times, no smartphones overnight. Giving them that break from that pressure, even for those hours, can do wonders for your kids' emotional health.
Erica, we have a little bit more time here. I love the smartphone idea. We've been doing that at my house. So I've got middle school age kids, which is like, you know, right in the middle of this. They're trying to figure out what's good, the hormones and their feelings and all of that. You know, and the show touches on that. What tips do you have for like approaching this age group? Because we struggle so much for just being able to communicate, with our middle-aged school kids.
Yeah, you're never more uncool than when your kids are in the
yes,
middle
exactly.
school.
I'm like, I hope they'll love me again someday.
Age. But the key is to then know what their universe is like. Don't judge, don't come barraging them with questions, but talk to them, find out what they think, what their friends think. Listen. You really have to listen to find out what's going on with them. If they think that you're going to jump in and yell at them or criticize them, they're going to clam up. It's really about trust and connection.
Could watching a show like this together actually help open up that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, if your kid is old enough or you feel like it's age appropriate, it's a great springboard to conversation. See what they think about the manosphere. Do they know it? Have they ever seen any of these videos? And just find out what's going on in your kid's head without jumping all over them.
Such good advice, Erica. Thank you so much, as always.
Thanks,
we
guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. And we'll be right back here on GMA. And we were just sharing our favorite grandma stories here. So we are back now on GMA with the grandmas lending an ear to a younger generation looking for connections and advice. A loving grandson coming up with the idea here of a grandma stand. And ABC's Will Gann says that people are just loving it. Will, good morning. You actually got a chance to speak with the grandma.
I really did. Yeah, my grandma Franny always used to say we had nothing, but we had everything, meaning they didn't have a lot of money or fancy stuff, but they had one another. And that was enough. Now a group of grandmas have banded together to give that gift of time and presence to the next generation.
They're grandmas on a mission. Dana, Flo, Sharon, Barbara. 4 of the more than 30 women taking a shift at the grandma stand.
It's a sweet, cute little purple stand, but they're deep conversations, very deep conversations. Last young man I had, he was 20, he's in the reserves, kind of, tough guy, and I said, do you mind if I give you a hug? He didn't want to let go.
At least once a week, the purple stand pops up somewhere in New York City with a grandma, an empty chair, and a prompt. What's something you need to let go of? What's one thing you'd change about the way you were raised? And today's question, what do people often misunderstand about you?
I'm very glad that I had the chance to talk to Grandma Dana and for her to share her experience with me.
It's just therapeutic, and it's
very
comforting. My grandma's she don't talk much to me, so it's nice to have a grandma that's awesome.
The project began in 2012. Mike Matthews teaming up with his beloved late grandma Eileen, who still has a permanent presence at the grandma stand.
What I love more than anything, and this is what my grandma Eileen loved, is this prompts people to actually build the better relationship with their own grandmother, to elevate the discussions.
The grandma stand racking up thousands of fans on social media. But those personal conversations between the grandmas and their newfound family members, those stay offline by design.
We all just need a grandma right now, and even those that don't have the best relationship with their grandmother or their grandmother has passed, here's a grandma. Yeah. You can borrow her. She's right here.
Can I get a Grandma Dana hug?
Yes, I love a grandma Dana.
The grandma stand is currently working on expanding to cities across the country, and Mike told me he's even heard from folks in Berlin and Paris who want some time with an oma or a grand-mère, because that love language is universal.
An abuela, too.
We have emergency tissues for Janae here already. She's ready to step up to the stand.
I am, and because I don't want to cry about it, but grandmas are so special.
Yeah.
I miss mine so much. That is amazing.
Yeah, the thing that folks here don't know is that my grandma Franny would have turned 100 this week. So to have that time and that hug from Grandma Dana, it felt profound in some ways.
Oh
yeah,
gosh,
you get it.
Happy birthday to
Grandmas are
Franny.
so much to so many people. Thank you for bringing that story, Will. And I love that you said you were surprised that there are 20-year-olds, young kids, going to get the love of a grandma.
Who put their phones down and just sit there and have a conversation and hold hands with the grandma. It's really special.
It highlights a need for that kind of connection right now, too.
Go hug your grandma if you're still lucky enough to have her. Thank you so much
we
for
cleaned out all the Kleenex.
Yeah. You good? You dry?
Yes, because you guys got me laughing about other stuff now.
Special morning. We love that. Yes. You can catch more weekend news coverage over on ABC News Live.
With Janae.
Yep, we've got great shows, so tune in.
Absolutely. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Bye.